We have 60 minutes to kind of dial into ourselves, to use our bodies, our breath, and our physical energy to kind of hone in our spiritual and our subtle energy so that perhaps we can be less fixated on everything around here and more tuned into everything here. And that's kind of the goal of physical practice for me, or asana for me, is it really allows a door opening to everything else that's on a deeper level. If the practice is not what you're hoping for, meaning a little bit too much, back out of some of the chaturangas. And if you need a lot more, just go ahead and add them in. Don't wait for me to call out, variations of poses, binds and half binds, etc. Just take them at your own pace. So why don't we start tonight in child's pose? Start to make your way there on your mat. As you come towards your mat, your knees will be wide as your mat, big toes drawn together, hands under your shoulders, and then you can just simply sink those hips down and back. If you're opting to play along with Spotify, go ahead and hit start. And for the first couple moments, we'll be here in child's pose. If you haven't already, perhaps turn off your iWatch or any other means of communication that might distract you during class. And really think about forming a little force field around you. So often when we would actually be able to go to a physical yoga studio, we would be able to kind of separate ourselves from everything around us. The home practice is a little bit different, right? You might just have unloaded the dishwasher, ran in the door, thinking about everything around you that needs to be done. So I invite you just for a little bit to focus on your breath, to let those thoughts come, but then also let them go. Stretch your arms out in front of you, really feeling your hands against your mat. Press the finger pads into the mat. Good. Maybe even lift your elbows off the mat. Activate those arms. And notice what happens if you push your hands down into the mat and forward, how it kind of brings your hips down and back a little bit. Greater length in the spine. Good. Staying in this activated child's pose, up with elbows off the earth, pressing hands down into the mat and forward. Start to deepen your breath. Pull the breath deep into the belly. Allow it to expand, to take up room, perhaps for the first time today. And then as you exhale, let it relax. Again, inhale, big breath, all the way from your pant line up to your middle belly, all the way up through your ribs. And then exhale, going the opposite way, recoiling everything, relaxing, checking in. One more huge breath in. Hold it at the top. And big breath out. If setting an intention means something to you, consider turning your palms up to the ceiling, holding that intention in your mind's eye, holding it in your heart space, knowing that though we may never share these intentions out loud, when we come together, move and breathe, we really do hold each other up. Good. Turn those palms back down into your mat. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Good. Come up onto hands and knees for tabletop pose. Once you're in tabletop pose, wrists are under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Make sure your spine is nice and long and gazing down to the mat, not cranking on the neck. Good. Setting up our firm foundation. Let's drop the belly, take our gaze forward, look up, and then arch the spine up, chin to chest. Again, drop the belly, look forward, look up. And then go the opposite way. Now maybe add in the breath as you drop the belly, look forward, look up, breathe in. And then go the opposite way, squeezing all the breath out, tucking the tailbone, pressing into the earth with those hands. Again, drop the belly, gaze forward, gaze up. Exhale, go the opposite way, finding that cat pose and pause. Keeping with your spine arched up, pulling the belly in, pressing into the hands, arching the spine up, pressing the tops of your feet so that your knees hover off of the mat. Just warming up our core a little bit, really focusing on pressing down through the hands, lifting up through the belly, pressing down through the tops of those feet, flush with the mat. Good, one more breath. Slowly lower those knees back down. Good, extend your right leg behind you. Press the ball of your foot into the mat. Shift your weight so you can feel a stretch in the back of that right leg. May need to shift your weight forward and back or side to side. Feeling an opening in the calf. Good, and then put the right knee down. Extend the left leg back. Again, pressing through the ball of the foot. Find a stretch in the back of the leg. Still making contact with the earth with both of your hands. Good, one more breath. Left knee down, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. As you lift those hips up and back, feel free to find a generous bend in your knees as you start to awaken your body to the yoga practice. Spread your fingers wide. Make sure your feet are about hip width distance. If you find yourself slipping, maybe adjust your down dog, shortening the stance a little bit. Shake your neck out. Release the tension in your jaw. Good, let's lift up high on our tiptoes. And then heels to the mat. Again, lift up high on your toes. Heels to the mat. Good, this time lift up high on your toes, just like we did in that cat pose. Pretend there's a giant ball underneath you. Roll forward through cat to a high plank. Pause in your high plank. Fingers and the palms of your hand press down. Almost like you're pressing the back of your sternum up to the ceiling. That spot between your shoulder blades really pressing up. Front body super strong. Good, take a breath in. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, rolling over that imaginary ball. Inhale, pull forward, undulating through your shoulders up to high plank. Down dog, hips up and back. One more, pull forward, really arching the spine up. Articulating that movement, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Good, take a breath in and slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. We'll find a halfway lift, so fingertips perhaps to your shins and forward fold. Let's do that again, halfway lift, belly pulls in, flat back and forward fold. Last one for now, halfway lift, maybe fingertips finding the earth and forward fold. Draw your feet underneath you, slowly rise to stand, all the way up, arms go wide and high overhead. Hands to your heart, breathe out. Good, inhale, arms sweep up. Fold down to your mat, breathe out. Halfway lift. High plank and pause. Building a little bit of warmth in our body, a little bit of heat. Stay in your high pause or lift your left toes off the earth, step your left foot out to the left and your right foot to the right. So your legs are wide behind you, high plank with wide legs. Keep pressing into the hands, front body super strong. One more breath. Good, drop your knees, slowly lower your chest down. Draw your feet together behind you, cobra pose, just a baby for now. And release. Do that again, toenails press down, legs engaged, inhale, lift the heart. And release. One more, inhale, lift the heart for cobra pose. Maybe this time pressing into your hands, finding your upward dog. Only thing on the earth, the tops of those feet, just like when we did in the beginning of class, and our palms. 3, 2, down dog, hips up, hips back. Good. Let's pull forward to a high plank as we breathe in. Lower partway down or to chaturanga, your choice. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Really finding your own variation of the flow anytime that we move in this class. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, move to the top of your mat. Half lift and forward fold. Rise to stand all the way, arms go nice wide and high. And fold, breathe out all the way back down. Halfway lift, hands plant, high plank. Find your way through a flow. We'll meet in down dog. One breath in. As you breathe out, again, move to the top of your mat. Halfway lift and forward fold. Again, rise to stand all the way up, arms nice wide and high. Maybe a back bend and then fold down, breathe out. Halfway lift, hands plant, flow it back to down dog. Good, one more breath here. And again, one more movement to the top of the mat. Halfway lift and forward fold. Rise to stand all the way up, maybe a back bend at the top, and then fold back down, warming our bodies with these simple movements. Halfway lift, big breath, hands plant, vinyasa. Good, meeting in our down dog. Take a couple breaths here. Again, hands pressing into the mat, hips lifting up. Maybe your chest sinking a little closer to those thighs. Take one more breath. Again, move to the top of your mat. Halfway lift and forward fold. Chair pose, bottom down, heart lifts up. Sink your hips down and back. Maybe start with your hands at your heart center or overhead. Again, hips sink back, maybe knees float back a little bit so you can see your toes wiggling. Heart lifts high, one more breath, sink it a little lower and forward fold. Halfway lift, hands plant, we'll meet in down dog. From down dog, right leg lifts, bend the right knee, open the right side body. Trying to keep both shoulders square to the mat. As you open your right hip and lift your right knee a little higher. Good, square the hips, right leg long. Now right knee, right elbow with high plank arms. Inhale, extend. Do that again, right knee, right elbow. Extend it back. One more time, right knee, right elbow. Pause, hold, little higher, 3, 2, extend the right leg back high. Step forward, warrior 1. Rise up. First standing pose, first warrior of our class. Just sinking into the pose a little bit as you bend into your right knee. Remember that back leg is really strong behind you. It's like a pillar of strength nudging you forward. Pull that right hip back in space, good. Sink a little deeper in your right knee. Good. Hands to heart center, warrior 2. A little bit wider stance. Hips, heart and shoulders all in line, opened up. Stay really deep in that front knee. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, reaching up and back. Good, one more breath. Back to your warrior 2, straighten your front leg. Turn to the back of your mat, high lunge. Left foot is forward, high on the ball of your back foot. Good, hands to heart center. Yes, I know it's early, warrior 3. Just playing with your balance and your focus. Sink down through your heart so your heart and the foot are in line. So I said sink down through the heart, but also lift the heart up. Find that balance. One more breath. Right foot next to left, chair pose. Bottom down, hands to heart center. Good. Now lift up on your tiptoes. Invite the trembling, right? Come a little higher on those toes. Heels up, bottom down. Pull the belly in, lift your heart up. 3, 2, and forward fold. Halfway lift. Move back to downward facing dog. From down dog, left leg starts to lift, bend the left knee, stack the left hip on top of the right. Maybe notice how your right heel roots down or lifts up. Keep those shoulders as square as you can, lift the left leg a little bit higher. Good, square your hips. Pause, left leg long, and if you'd like, knee to elbow on the left side. Inhale, extend. Do that again, left knee, left elbow. Extend the leg back. Again, left knee, left elbow, hold, hold. 3, 2, extend the leg high. Step forward, warrior 1. Using again these first couple standing poses as an invitation to mentally come to your mat. Right, physically you might be here. Let the sensations in your body, let the feeling of your breath moving through you, let your deeper physical awareness pull that mind here. Back leg is super strong. Again, really nudging that right hip forward as you pull the left hip back. Hands to heart center. Warrior 2. Opening hips and heart. Gaze out over that left finger, middle finger. Back leg again remains strong. And as much as you lean into that left leg in front of you, really engage that back leg. Flip your front palm, reverse the warrior, reaching up and back. Back to warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, high lunge towards the front of the room. Right knee is forward, high on the ball of your left foot. Really feeling a stretch perhaps in your entire left side front body. Hands to heart center, warrior 3. Again, I know it's early, but just playing with your mind, playing with balance, breathing into this. Take one more breath. Both feet down, top of the mat, chair pose, 1 breath, and forward fold. Halfway lift. Hands plant, let's flow, and we'll meet in down dog. Good, allowing ourselves every time we come to our mat to become familiar again with all of the poses. Become familiar again with our body, with our breath. Right leg high, moving with our breath a little bit. Right knee, right elbow. Extend the leg back. Warrior 1, plant the foot. Inhale, rise up. Warrior 2, exhale. Reverse the warrior, breathe in. Cartwheel hands as you breathe out all the way to the bottom of your push-up. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg high. Optional left knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend. Step forward. Inhale, warrior 1, rise up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel hands all the way down. Follow the exhale to the bottom of your push-up. Big breath in. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Open your mouth and exhale. And if you didn't catch up or go with my cues, that's fine. It's kind of like a dance we do with ourselves. So check in with yourself, see what you might need. Either you stay in down dog, maybe find child's pose, or we'll move through each side one more time. Right leg high. Good, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Warrior 1, step forward. Rise up, big breath in. Warrior 2, exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands cartwheel down, flow.
Back to a down dog. Down dog, left leg high. Left knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend. Warrior one. Step forward, rise up nice and strong. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Cartwheel, hands down. Flow it out. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe find your knees for child's pose. Feel that life force moving through you. Recognizing your ability to really slow the breath and to deepen that breath. Might not feel great, but you do have that possibility, that capability. Shake your neck out, make sure you're not holding any tension. Good. Let's pull forward to a high plank and pause. Stay here, or right hand under your heart, side plank. Finding that side plank variation, perhaps your elbow drops down or a knee. Maybe you lift a leg up, find a tree pose or a back bend. Again, really expressing this practice through this pose. One more breath. Back to your high plank. Pause. Left hand under heart. Opposite side, side plank. Allow the pose to be different on this side, because it is. Allow your breath to become a little bit deeper. Press down through the left hand, press down through the edge of the left foot. Lift everything else up. Good, high plank, pause. Stay here or flow if you'd like. Meeting in our downward facing dog. We'll take a breath in and a breath out. Again, inhale and exhale. One more. Big breath in. Full breath out. Good. Walk your hands to the back edge of your mat. Pausing there. Find a halfway lift. Then a forward fold. Chair pose. Bottom sinks. Heart lifts high. Bring your hands to your heart center. Pause. Thinking about twisting with left elbow over to the right. Go ahead and lean forward and connect that left elbow to the right knee. If it's better for your body to stay upright in an upright twist, left arm can go straight forward, right arm back. Otherwise, we're making that connection. If you have the connection, press your left elbow into the right knee. Pull your belly in. Sink your bottom below your heart. Good. One more breath. Forward fold. Scoot your heels to the back edge of your mat. We're going to utilize that length of our mat to isolate our hip muscles. So keeping fingertips down, lift your left leg behind you like you're in standing splits. Good. Now bring your left foot in front of your right. Lift your right foot up like standing splits. Good. Right foot in front of left. Tiny little steps. Inhale, lift the left leg up with control and step the left foot forward. Inhale, lift the right leg and step the right foot forward. You got the idea. Taking little baby steps, lifting that leg up, keeping fingertips down as you isolate the muscles of your hips. Use your breath. Lift those legs, but at the same time, surrender the crown of your head. Good. I have room for this last one. If you have room for a couple more, go for it. Meet at the top of our mat, back in chair pose. Good. Lean forward, same twist. Left elbow, right knee. Belly pulls in. Good. We have our strong foundation. Feel into your feet. Now take your gaze down to your toes. Keep the twist. Lift your left heel up by your butt. In a little twist. Chair, warrior three variation. Extend that left leg behind you, baby, still keeping the twist. Gazing down at the earth. Lift that left leg a little higher. Step back, lunge with a twist. Land, and then readjust. Left leg is behind you. Ball of your left foot into the earth. Pull the belly in. Consider pressing your right knee open into your left elbow. Twisting a little bit deeper. Good, with care, rise up, high lunge. Good. Maybe explore a little bit of a back bend. Goalpost those elbows. Lift the heart up from underneath. Gaze up to the sky. Keep pressing to the earth. Especially feel those big toes on both feet. I know, sounds crazy. Back to a high lunge. Warrior two, open. Stance is a little bit wider. Again, right knee pulling open. Avoiding that internal collapse. Sink a little bit deeper. Can you soften your shoulders down your back? But then still with conviction, reach out those fingertips like you're spreading love straight out those fingertips. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Maybe bind with that left hand behind the small of your back. Good, straighten your front leg. Finding yourself in reverse triangle. May need to shorten your stance a little bit. Both legs are straight. Press the earth away with the right foot. Reach the right fingertips up. Pull the belly in. Good. Come back up with warrior two arms. Turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Heels in, toes out. Horse pose. Sink the hips down. Good, hands can stay at your heart center. Whatever feels good to you. Notice if your tailbone's way out behind you, try and pull the tailbone straight, perpendicular down to the earth. Good. Let's reach our arms out forward, palms apart like you're holding a block. Good. Now if your shoulders came way out of their sockets, pull those back in. Again, imaginary block holding between those hands, really pressing, pressing, pressing. Sink a little bit deeper. 3, 2, good. Straighten through the legs, arms reach up nice and high. Starfish pose, pulling the belly in, energetically drawing your feet towards each other as you reach up and out. Good, take one more breath. Let's shift our feet to a high lunge to the back of our mat. Left foot is forward. Pull your right hip around. Good. Pull the belly in. One more breath. Hands to heart center. Warrior three, lift. You've been here before. You know the pose. Bring your hands down to the mat. Lift that right leg a little higher. Standing splits. Good, now tuck the right knee behind the left. Keep the right fingertips down. Lift the left arm up. Crouching twisted yogi. Pull your belly in. Stretch the crown of your head forward. Hug that right heel up to your buns. Point those toes. And now rotate through your entire chest. Opening left side up to the ceiling. One more breath. Forward fold both feet down. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Let's rise to stand all the way up. Arms nice, wide and high. And then hands to heart center. Pause. Wiggle your toes. Notice where you're at. Feel into this body. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth. Exhale. Inhale. Arms sweep up. Let's begin again. Exhale. Fold down to the mat. Halfway lift. High plank and pause. Finding ourselves in high plank. Let's move our left hand under our heart, side plank variation. Again, you find the variation that serves you tonight on the second side. Second round of this pose. My mat is telling me to be respectful of its slipperiness right now because it does not want me to move in a certain way. So I'll adjust. Anything on the earth presses down and everything else lifts up. Good. High plank, pause. Right hand under the heart. Side plank, opposite side. Again, express it, feel it, breathe it. You are strong. You are capable. Good, one more breath. High plank. From here, flow if you'd like. We'll meet in down dog. Good, take a breath in and a breath out. Again, big breath in and a big breath out. Walk your hands to the back edge of your mat. Scooch those heels to the back. Bottom down, chair pose. Draw your feet together if that's okay with your body. Hands to heart center. Thinking about twisting this time, right elbow to left knee. Again, find the twist and then realign. Make sure your knees are in line, your right knee and right hip aren't coming forward. Pull the belly in. Arch your spine up a little bit, sink your buns below your heart. Press your right elbow into the left knee. One more breath and forward fold. Listen, this time, hands stay down. Lift your right leg behind you like standing splits. And then open to a half moon. Right hip on top of left, right arm up to the sky. Slowly curl everything back down to the earth. Right foot steps in front of left. Lift the left leg first to needle and then open half moon. Rotate everything down with control. Left foot next to right, a little bit forward. Right leg lifts with control, half moon. Maybe you add the arm in, lifting and extending, and then come back down. Right foot next to left. Lift the left leg, making our way to the top of our mat with these really deliberate, slow openings of our hips and our shoulders to a half moon. Really starting to isolate a lot of the muscles in our low back, our hips. I've got a couple more on my mat's length. Check in where you're at. If you're already done, hey, next time maybe do it a little bit tinier steps. And if you're way behind us, are we focusing too much on perfection? And instead, can you feel into the wobbles? Feel into the sways that come to us, almost like there's a breeze in your room. Last one for me. And then top of the mat, bottom down, heart lifts, chair pose. Hands to heart center. Right knee, right elbow to left knee. Again, belly pulls in as we find that twist. Good, keeping the twist. Take your gaze down to the mat, setting up for success, right? That's what it's about. Not really where are we going next, but how do we get there in the safest way? Pop your right heel up to your bun. Maybe stay here with your knees touching and that right heel up to your butt, or extend that right leg behind you. Finding a warrior three with a twist. Good, one more breath. Step back, high lunge with a twist. Right foot is behind us, left foot forward. Press your right elbow into that left knee. Conversely, press your left knee out into that right elbow. Make sure you're still breathing. Good, with care, rise up, high lunge. Again, finding your strong footing, that firm foundation. Maybe explore back bend, goal posting the elbows. Keep pulling your right hip around forward, little micro movements. Lift your heart from underneath with those shoulder blades. Let's come back to a high lunge. Warrior two. Open your hip and your heart. Open both hips, not just your hip. Sink deep into that front knee. Maybe shrug your shoulders up by your ears. Good, and then relax them down. This practice really reminds us how we can be both strong and soft at the same time, within the same breath. Staying deep, flip your warrior, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Right hand behind you, maybe finding that bind. Keep pulling your belly in, sink into that front knee. Straighten the front leg, finding yourself in reverse triangle. I have to shorten my stance a little bit. Both legs are straight. You press your way with the left foot, pull the belly in, reach left fingertips up and back. Good, come back to warrior two, arms. Turn all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat. Heels in, toes out, hands to heart center. Good, starting here. Let's lift our left heel off the mat and put it down. Lift your right heel. Good, lift your left heel and right heel. Lift them both. Come high on the tippy toes. Keep sinking your buns down. Yeah, you look like a little grasshopper. Look at those legs. Come a little higher on those balls of your feet. Quiver a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. Sink a little bit deeper. Heart is still high. Good. Heels down. Reach your arms up. Big stretch, big breath. And then twist, rotate to a high lunge. Right foot forward. Back leg really strong. Good. Hands to heart center. Warrior three. Lean forward. Find that capital T shape. We've been here before, so we're not staying. Hands come down. Lift that left leg up, just like we've done standing splits. Crunch your left knee behind the right. Pause. If you want to add one more thing, left fingertips out a little bit in front of you, right arm to the sky. So pull the left heel up to your buns, bend deep through the right knee, pull the belly in, rotate your entire left side up to the ceiling. 3, 2, and forward fold. Halfway lift and forward fold. Let's rise up to stand all the way. Big breath in, and then hands to heart center. Again, feeling our feet wiggling below us on the earth. Find that stillness. Notice the breath coming in. Notice the breath leaving. Good. Inhale, let's begin again. Arms nice, wide and high. Exhale, fold down to your mat. Halfway lift. We'll meet in down dog. Flow if you'd like. Good. Finding ourselves in down dog. Building a little bit on where we've been. Right leg lifts high. Right knee, right elbow, pause. You can drop to the arm balance. If you're learning how, come down to chaturanga arms and pause. Then connect your right thigh to your right leg. It's a practice, right? It's a play, it's a shift. Good, right leg back to sky high. Warrior two. Step forward, rise up. Make sure that your right toes are pointing forward. Maybe even take a peek down at them. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Setting it up for half moon. Start to lift off of your left foot. Bringing the right fingertips towards the earth, a block, your water bottle. As you start to lift your left leg. My favorite trick, I like to try and bring that bottom hand to my shin. And once I have contact there, try and elongate out the crown of my head, out that right side body, and keep rotating left side up. One more breath. Warrior two. Step back. Landing in your warrior two. Feel that back foot into the earth behind you. Really strong. Let's start to find side angle. Right elbow down to right knee. Left arm up to the sky. Perhaps extended overhead if that's in your practice. Binding, half binding. Playing with bird of paradise even. As much as we like to pretend the practice is about what shapes we're making, really it's more, are we creating an environment where clarity can flow through us? So try and create a long line from the left heel out the crown of your head. 3 more breaths. Allowing that breath to travel the entire length of your spine. 2 more breaths. Good, take your gaze down to the earth. Shift your right foot to the outer edge of your mat, lizard pose. Before we sink into lizard though, let's pause, hands on the earth. Step your left foot up outside your left hand, step your right foot back. Pause, right foot steps up, step your left foot back, and then left foot up, right foot back. Do that a few more times each side, right, left steps back, left up, right back, right up, left back, left up, right back. Last time, pause. Sink into your lizard. Right foot to the outer edge of your hands, perhaps coming down onto your hands, onto those forearms. Feeling into the stretch. Maybe splaying to the outer edge of your right foot. Good, and in these moments where our body has physically stilled, notice if your mind has picked up. Remembering our minds are designed to think, so don't curse yourself. Instead, say, hey, brain, you're doing a great job, but I got this right now. Good. Let's come up onto our hands if you're on your forearms. Keeping your right foot outside, bring your left foot up outside your left hand. Sink your hips down. Hands to heart center, Malasana, yogi squat. You stay where you're at. I'm gonna just turn and face the camera. Buns sink down, elbows into our knees, crown of head lifting up, trying to find as much length through your spine as you can. Good. Making you wiggle your toes, or are you gripping the earth with them? If you'd like to play with a hand balance, perhaps crow or crane, you can bring your hands down to the mat, remembering that not every bird flies right away. So if you're working on the poses, that's what it is, it's work, right? I like to come high on my tippy toes, lifting my center of gravity up, and then really placing the knees on the backs of my arms. And again, this is more like a crane pose, but the principles are the same. Pull the belly in, arch your spine up, just like we did in the beginning of class. Press into the hands, gazing forward, but not too far forward. Heels towards the buns. Good, feet down. Lift your hips up, forward fold. In your forward fold, maybe walk those hands underneath your feet, finding gorilla pose. If you have a different forward fold you prefer, you're welcome to do that. Do your best to unclench your jaw. Shake your neck out. Ooh, yeah, sigh it out. Good, release your feet from any grip that you might have. Let's find a halfway lift and a forward fold. Rise up all the way. Arms nice, wide and high. And then hands to heart center. Good, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Halfway lift. Let's flow. We'll meet in down dog. Good. From down dog, left leg lifts high. Again, stay here or find that high plank with left knee to left tricep. Maybe lower to chaturanga arms. Maybe play with just extending that left leg out straight, not even floating the back leg. Good, press back, left leg high. Warrior two. Sink into your warrior two. Let it be a pose in itself. Don't worry about what's next. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Good, start to lean into a half moon. So step that right foot forward. Start to lift the right leg up, stack the right hip on top of the left, right shoulder over the left. Again, play with your variation. Flex your back toe or point it. One more breath. Warrior two, step all the way back. And again, feeling your feet underneath you. That firm foundation, left elbow towards left knee, right arm up to the sky. Really focusing on long lines. Don't be obsessed with touching the ground with that left hand. Because what happens when you do that, maybe your heart collapses down to the earth. Right? Our yoga mats are one of the first places that we can practice not compromising the strength, the position, the value, our own integrity of our heart, right? We don't sink into a pose at the cost of that open heart, that long line of energy. 3 more breaths. Open the left knee up. 2 more breaths. Good, hands come down. Move your left foot to the outer edge of your mat. Hands on the earth. Now you can either sink right into your lizard. If you want to play with those step backs, you're more than welcome to step your right foot forward and your left foot back, and then left foot forward and right foot back. Or maybe you jump into it and really up your cardio a little bit. Your choice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lizard pose. Choosing to perhaps come down onto your elbows on that left side. Hip opener. Mind grounder. Make sure your breath is still a pivotal part of this practice. And just like we started class, trying to create a little bit of a force field around us. Call that back to mind. We don't have much more time together, but the time that we do have is so valuable. 2 more breaths. Good, 1 more. Good, come up onto your hands. Bring your left knee back by your right. Setting it up for 2 camel poses. You're welcome to take these on your knees with your buns on your heels and hands reaching back and just lifting the chest up and gazing up. If camel's in your practice, knees are 2 fists width apart. Press your hips forward with hands at the low back. Hips forward, heart lifts. Hips forward, heart lifts, and maybe you stay there. Keep lifting your heart up though. Opening the chest. Exposing that throat. Pulling the breath in. Good, slowly start to raise back up. Draw your knees together, sink your buns down onto your hips. Pause for a moment, sit up nice and tall. Notice if your tailbone's shooting way far out behind you, pull that back under you so you can sit up tall. Good, let's come to stand on our knees again. Hands at the low back first. Press the hips forward, lift the heart up. Again, hips forward, heart up. Maybe gaze back. Maybe even find those heels. Again, this is a really open, a very vulnerable pose. Right? Our throats are wide open, our throat chakras. How often do our words, our thoughts, our emotions get stuck? Right? And in this pose, our throat is wide open. Letting all of that tension, all those unsaid words, unfelt feelings, unexpressed ideas kind of come forth. 2 more breaths. And then hands to your low back, rise back up. Whew. Sink your buns down onto your heels. Bring your heels around in front of you. Legs long in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your right hand outside of your left thigh, left fingertips behind you, just taking a little twist, sit up tall. Pull the belly in. Gaze back over that left shoulder. And then come back to center. Left finger's outside of the right leg, right finger's behind you, and then twist. Again, belly pulls in, supporting the back through the twist. And then we'll come back to center. Slowly lower yourself down all the way onto your back. Setting up for one bridge or wheel, your choice. Feet hip width distance apart, fingertips grazing those heels, and then start to lift your hips up off in the mat. If you're finding bridge, shimmy one shoulder at a time underneath you. Make sure you're squeezing an invisible block between those thighs together. Energy shooting out those knees. If you're choosing to go to wheel, hips still lift up. Still squeeze an imaginary block between your knees. Everyone press down through your big toes. Everyone unclench your butt. 3, 2, and slowly lower down. All the way down. Let your legs go long on your mat. Good, hug your left knee into your chest. Cross the left knee over your body. Take your gaze the opposite way. If you have a different supine twist that serves your body better, you're welcome to move into that. And come back through center. Extend that leg long on the mat. Hug the opposite knee in. And drape that across the body. Finding a twist in the opposite direction. And then we'll come back to center. Legs extend long out on your mat, arms by your side. Get out any wiggles you might have. And set up for Savasana. It's our final pose together in this class. And although some might view it as the end of a class, it's really the start of the practice, right? We take all this strength that we've cultivated for the last 60 minutes and then carry it off of our mats. Our asana practice teaches us what to do when our bodies feel stress, how to not check out, how to come back to this moment, come back to this breath. Our asana practice teaches us it's okay to wiggle, it's okay to wobble, it's okay to fall down. It's all part of the process. And our asana practice, most of all, allows a perfect canvas for us to observe ourselves, to learn about ourselves, to watch our mind, to learn our tendencies, to see where that inner dialogue goes nonstop. It's not about changing anything necessarily, right? It's just about learning, watching, observing. So feel the softness come through your body for a few more moments. A sweet surrender. Good, empty out all of your air. Take in the biggest breath that you have all day. Fill up as much as you can. And now open your mouth and exhale.
Roll on to one of your sides if you're ready to move on a little bit further in your day. Pausing when you get to whatever side you've chosen. Make space for a moment of gratitude. Gratitude towards yourself for showing up to your mat, for setting everything else to the side just for a little bit, for focusing on self-care, self-love, and kind of a return to that trueness within you. Slowly press yourself all the way up to sitting. You can find cross-legged seat, sit on your knees, legs out in front of you, whatever's comfortable. Sit up nice and tall, maybe still blinking those eyes shut. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears, and then roll them down your back. Rock right to left, left to right a couple times. Feel those sit bones rooting you down to the earth, reminding you of your connection to the ground, and therefore everything on this planet. Hands to your heart center. Press thumb knuckles into your heart space, but also press your heart into the thumb knuckles, remembering we must find that balance of give and receive. Remembering to take care of ourselves, if we can, as much as we care for others. And then sit up nice and tall again, feeling the strength of your own spine, your own integrity, creativity, your own beautiful self. It's really been an honor for me to be here with you on your mat. Please carry this practice out into the world and share it with others. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Have a beautiful rest of your day or night, whenever it is for you. Bye.